Welcome to the Southern Regional School District's annual Scholarship Award Ceremony. My name is Craig Henry, and it is an honor for me to open this special event. I would like to thank the Southern Regional High School Select Orchestra for performing our prelude music under the direction of Mrs. Jamie Chavin. The names of the musicians who performed are listed in the credits. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing following the pledge while Southern senior members of the vocal ensemble sing the national anthem. Leading the pledge for the Class of 2020 Scholarship Award Ceremony are Carrigan Bolger and Robert Woodcock.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars herald their perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bolts bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Thank you, Carrigan and Robert, and thank you, members of the vocal ensemble, whose names are also going to be listed in the credits. You'll understand in a few minutes why Carrigan and Robert had the honor of offering the Pledge of Allegiance. Southern Regional Scholarship Program is an enormous undertaking. Working tirelessly throughout the past 15 years with the scholarship program has been the project manager, Mrs. Cheryl Barrett. On Sunday, May 10, 2020, Mother's Day, Cheryl passed after waging a long, exhausting, and courageous battle against both Parkinson's disease and cancer.
Cheryl joined the Southern family in 1999 as a professional assistant in the high school guidance department, where she immediately left her mark as a loving, caring, and nurturing contributor who became a founding member of what we now call the Southern Culture of Care.
After 15 years in the guidance department, Cheryl joined the administrative team in the board office, where she became the project manager for the scholarship program. She loved the scholarship program and took much pride in every aspect of it, from organizing the donor programs in the fall to processing individual student awards throughout the summer after graduation.
In listening to Cheryl on the phone with the donors over the years, it became apparent how personally invested Cheryl was in each of the individuals with whom she interacted. She was genuine in catching up with them since the last time they had spoken, and it was obvious that the scholarship program was no longer a project for Cheryl, but rather a passion from which she gifted all of us who are watching with the blessing of her friendship.
I met with Rob, Cheryl's youngest son, the other day, and Rob was with Cheryl when she passed. Rob shared with me how much Southern meant to Cheryl and how the scholarship program and the friendships it afforded her were treasured by Cheryl.
Cheryl cherished her relationship with Southern. I don't recall a time when Cheryl didn't have her Southern black and gold windbreaker on, or it was draped over the back of her chair. In a private family service, Rob placed that jacket in Cheryl's casket so she can continue to represent the Southern family and our experience in all of her future journeys.
Cheryl, you left an indelible mark on all of us. We love you and thank you for the gift of love and compassion that you blessed us with. Thank you for sharing 31 years with our Southern family. We are grateful for the spirit of the Red Cardinal while reminding the Cardinal that, Cheryl, you are forever a Ram. All that Southern has become has been at the hand and the leadership of a Board of Education that is second to none. 10 individuals who donate unbelievable amounts of their time unselfishly in support of students, teachers, and Southern programs. The Board of Education is populated by President Mr. Tom Serpico, Vice President Mrs. Heather Tater, Mr. Stephen Burkheiser, Mr. James Donahauer, Mr. Kevin C. Lyons, Stuart Snyder Esquire, Mr. Scott Waters, Mr. Keith Weidenhoff, Mr. R. Scott Zolads, and Mrs. Kelly Zuzik, only one of whom can be here tonight. This is a night that historically every one of the board members are here to celebrate this unprecedented generosity of this community to our graduates, soon-to-be graduates. But because of the social distancing guidelines, only Heather Tater is here to offer remarks on behalf of the Board of Education. Mrs. Tater?
Thank you very much. Good evening. Once again, I'm Heather Tater, and on behalf of your Southern Regional Board of Education, I would like to welcome you to Scholarship Night. First and foremost, I'd like to thank our local donors. We are facing trying times not only as a community, but as a country. It is with your love and support that our Southern family remains stronger than ever. It is through your strength and perseverance that you are role models, not only for us, but for our students. And for that, we're forever thankful. Second, I'd like to thank the staff and administration who have made this night possible. You continue to go above and beyond. Our students walk into our building in 7th grade, coming from different towns with different life experiences, yet they leave here as one Southern family, a bond like no other. Last, certainly not least, our seniors. Congratulations. This night is always so exciting. So this year's a little different, but it's still the same. You are surrounded by loved ones, both near and far. You are supported by your loved ones, our Southern family, and our community. Your growth, happiness, and well-being are really all we can hope for. We hope you leave here wiser, because that is what you have made us. We hope you leave here stronger, because that is what you have made us. We hope that you leave here empowered, because that is what you have made us. Committed to excellence, because that is what we strive for. These past few months have been trying for everyone, but I say let's not focus on the negative, let's find the positive. The past few months have given you time with your family that you don't normally have. We are all so very busy, but had no choice but to stop and take a moment to appreciate even the little things that on most days we take for granted. You have created moments and memories that I hope you cherish in years to come. I'd like to leave you with this poem written by Bob Perks. I wish you enough sun to keep your attitude bright. I wish you enough rain to appreciate the sun more. I wish you enough happiness to keep your spirit alive. I wish you enough pain so that the smallest joys in life appear so much bigger. I wish you enough gain to satisfy your wanting. I wish you enough loss to appreciate all that you possess. I wish you enough hellos to get you through the final goodbye. May God bless you always. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. What outstanding remarks. I want to thank you personally for all that you do with your fellow board members on behalf of this great district. None of what Southern has become would be possible were it not for the leadership of the Board of Education. So thank you, Heather, and again, great remarks. It is now my pleasure to introduce the president of the class of 2020, Haley Whitney, who will offer greetings from the class of 2020. Haley?
Thank you, Mr. Henry. Since the very beginning, I knew the class I would one day graduate with was special. If nothing else, this quarantine is a testament to that fact. We have persevered like no other class before us, and today is a celebration of those efforts. Class of 2020, you have spent the past 4 years tirelessly working towards one goal. And before I say anything else, I would like to take the time to acknowledge those who have helped us reach the finish line. The community beyond the walls of Southern Regional High School is one unlike any other. Whether it's class fundraisers, cans for the food drive, posters for the musical, Adopt a Senior, or sponsors on the back of t-shirts, each and every member of our local community has contributed to the betterment of our lives. Because of you, no matter how far we go, we'll always have a piece of home with us. So, from the class of 2020 to those who have taken the time to look after us, we thank you. We want nothing more than to one day pay forward that kindness. In conclusion, I would like to congratulate those who received scholarships tonight, and I wish you the best of luck in your futures. To the scholarship donors who make this night possible, I am grateful beyond words, and rest assured there was no one more deserving of the scholarship than the member of the class of 2020. Thank you to the Southern staff for the best 4 years and a wonderful night to celebrate those 4 years, and congratulations to everyone involved. Thank you.
Great remarks, Haley. Thank you so very much. Haley will be attending the Georgia Institute of Technology, where she will be majoring in mechanical engineering. And we know, Haley, you're going to be a great success in all of those future endeavors. Like all things Southern, the scholarship program is renowned and by all accounts unrivaled. I know of no other school that can boast our type of program. Tonight, 256 donor groups will be presenting to 264 members of the class of 2020 989 individual awards for a grand total of $542,039. Thank you to our scholarship program donors. We wish you were here tonight in person. We are so grateful that you are here in spirit and that you have donated so generously to this class, as Haley has said, who is extremely deserving of your generosity. Before we commence with appointing 989 scholarships, it is with great pride that I inform you that the tradition of Southern students making the commitment to serve and protect continues with the class of 2020. At this time, I would like to invite Mrs. Megan Weil, Assistant Superintendent, to the podium to award 2 special appointments.
I have the privilege of publicly presenting your classmate, Kerrigan Bulger, with her appointment to the Coast Guard Academy. Ranked among the nation's most prestigious and selective institutions of learning, the Coast Guard Academy is an academic and military community educating future leaders for America. Founded in 1876, it is the smallest of the nation's federal service academies. Cadets swear an oath to protect and defend the Constitution. The appointment is not only an honor, but a privilege and obligation stemming from their founding days. The mission statement of the Academy reflects Alexander Hamilton's vision and expectations of service first officers. To graduate men and women with a high sense of honor, loyalty, and obedience that goes with trained initiative and leadership, well-grounded in seamanship, the sciences and amenities, and strong in the resolve to be worthy of the traditions of commissioned officers in the United States Coast Guard in the service of their country and humanity. Each year, 10,000 students inquire about admissions, and many go on to complete the application. Of those, approximately 300 will be appointed and sworn in this summer to the class of 2024, graduating 4 years later with a Bachelor of Science degree and a commission as an ensign. Since there are no congressional nominations, Coast Guard Academy appointments are based on merit. Therefore, the most qualified applicants are selected through a holistic review process. You may not be aware that the Coast Guard Academy is tuition-free. A scholarship valued at $400,000, the Coast Guard Academy appointments offer a total integrated life experience. Our campus provides a secure, supportive, and highly structured environment for a unique higher education experience focusing on academics, athletics, leadership, and professional military development. On behalf of the Coast Guard Academy Admissions Office, it is my privilege to now recognize Kerrigan Bulger, who has received an appointment to attend the United States Coast Guard Academy.
Thank you, Mrs. Weil, and congratulations, Kerrigan. Under normal circumstances, everybody in this facility would be standing and applauding with an unbelievable round of applause. They are doing that at home, I'm sure. I said 2 appointments, and this year we are blessed with having 2 of our members of the class of 2020 receive military academy appointments, which some schools are lucky if they have 1 in a decade. we have 2 in 1 year, which I think speaks to the quality of the Southern experience and the caliber of students who we are graduating. It's now my pleasure to introduce once again Mrs. Weil, who will be reading an Air Force Academy appointment.
I have the privilege of publicly presenting your classmate Robert Woodcock with his appointment to the Air Force Academy. The United States Air Force Academy has one of the most prestigious and respected academic programs in the nation. Formed more than 60 years ago, the United States Air Force Academy is a service academy where graduates earn a Bachelor's of Science degree and a commission as second lieutenant in the U.S. Air Force. The United States Air Force Academy provides a world-class education that also combines athletics, character and leader development, and military training to forego outstanding United States Air Force officers who are ready to lead on day one. Cadets at the United States Air Force Academy receive an education that prepares them for careers as leaders working for the most advanced Air Force in the world. As pilots and engineers, cyber specialists, and space operation officers, they are able to make an immediate impact and shape the future of this country. Only highly motivated individuals with extraordinary leadership and character qualities are selected for appointments to the U.S. Air Force Academy. While attending the Academy, cadets are fully cared for with no student loans to worry about. Cadets will face a rigorous schedule, extremely high expectations, and strict rules of conduct. Upon graduation, cadets receive a Bachelor of Science degree and a commission as an officer in the United States Air Force. On behalf of the United States Air Force Academy Admissions Office, it is my privilege to now recognize Robert Woodcock, who has received an appointment to attend the United States Air Force Academy.
Congratulations, Robert. And as I said to Carrigan, if we listen close enough, we can hear households all throughout Manahawkin, Stafford Township, Waretown, and LBI hooting and hollering in support and in celebration for what you've accomplished. It's no small task of being accepted into the military academies, and we are so proud of you and know how well you're going to represent the class of 2020. It's a daunting challenge. Life's going to change very quickly for both of you. I have no doubt that both of you are up to the task. So again, congratulations, and I can still hear those applauses going from all over our community. Thank you. Now, with no further ado, let's get on with the task of awarding over $542,000 of scholarships. It is now my pleasure to introduce the class advisors, Denise Logue and Dawn Bischoff, who will announce the class of 2020 scholarship appointments.
It is my pleasure to introduce the first scholarship of the evening. A Little Something, represented by Susan Foster, 2 at $50. The recipients are Timothy Budd and Ryan Davis.
18-Mile Media Scholarship, represented by Connor Morgan, 5 at $100. Sebastian Servetto, Megan Hensinger, Michaela McGovern, Alexa Tabacino, Noah Wazak.
A Buddy Scholarship, represented by Joe DePietro, 1 at $250. Sebastian Servetto.
A Friend of Southern Regional Scholarship, amount 3 at $250. Ryan Adanatsian, Paul Adanatsian, Aiden Olcott.
AARP Stafford Chapter 3995, represented by Donald and Anne-Marie Deloto, 1 at $300. Ben Laparo.
Achievement Over Adversity, 1 at $1,000. Recipient is Emily Rainey.
Albert Goldberger Family Awards, Albert Goldberger Memorial Award, represented by Eileen Goldberger Mahan and James E. Goldberger, one at $250. Recipient is Maitland Demand.
Albert Goldberger Family Awards, Helen Clemens Goldberger Memorial Award, represented by Eileen Goldberger Mahan and James E. Goldberger, one at $250. Recipient is Emily Rainey.
Albert Goldberger Family Awards, Richard Bruce Goldberger Memorial Award, represented by Eileen Goldberger Mahan and James E. Goldberger, one at $250. The recipient is Michaela McGovern.
Albert Music Hall Pinelands Cultural Society, represented by Daniel Dugan, one at $1,000. The recipient is Nicole Rotondi.
Albert Music Hall Pinelands Cultural Society in memory of Roy Everett, represented by Daniel Dugan, one at $1,000. The recipient is Alexa Tabacino.
Amerigal Irish American Organization Scholarship, represented by Carol Birdman, one at $500. The recipient is Bryce Reynolds.
American Association of University Women, Elizabeth S. Brogdon Scholarship, represented by Jerry Riffle, amount one at $250. The recipient is Abigail Melandro.
American Legion Post number 511, Stafford Township Memorial Scholarship, represented by Louis Esposito and Doug Voorhees, three at $500. The recipients are Kaylee King, Kaylee Lang, and Jacob Leonard.
American Legion Post 232, John Wesley Taylor Scholarship, represented by Bob Padavano, amount one at $500. The recipient is Anthony Ferrulli.
B 98.5 Press Communications Scholarship, one at $1,000. The recipient is Brianna Robinson.
Barnegat VFW Post 10092, Corporal Kareem Khan Memorial Scholarship, amount two at $500. The recipients are Aaron Barrett and Abigail Melandro.
Bay Magazine Photography Scholarship, represented by Melissa Ardwin, one at $500. The recipient is Tara O'Neill.
BCD Scholarship, represented by Taylor Brennan, Brianna Deeney, and Jamie Chavin, three at $100. Jalen D'Amelio, Megan Hensinger, and Grace Matusik.
Beach Bums Corvette Club Scholarship, represented by Richard Watson, one at $500. The recipient is Haley Whitney.
Beach Haven Education Association, represented by Deborah Harkness and Christine Breesley, two at $275. The recipients are Erica Barbera and Abigail Melandro.
Beach Haven First Aid Squad John Jack Kozer Memorial Scholarship, represented by Bill G. Amount 1 at $2,500. The recipient is Abigail Melandro.
Beach Haven First Aid Squad Lewis Skip Roselle III Memorial Scholarship, represented by Bill G. 1 at $2,500. The recipient is Lucas Michi.
Beach Haven West Civic Association Memorial Scholarship, represented by Dawn Papatheodoro, 3 at $750. The recipients are Aaron Barrett, Zachary Minifo, and Krista Pacello.
Burkheiser Family Scholarship, represented by Suzanne and Stephen Burkheiser, 1 in the amount of $300. The recipient is Aidan McInerney.
The Bochicchio Family Scholarship, represented by Don Bochicchio, 1 in the amount of $500. The recipient is Richard Glasscock.
Brett and Kyle Cox Pay It Forward Scholarship, represented by Brett and Kyle Cox, 1 in the amount of $500. Sebastian Servetto.
Brian Brennan Scholarship of St. Mary's Church, represented by Kathleen Brennan and Jerry Atzert, 2 at $250. The recipients are Emma Hughey and Robert Pisano.
Brummer the Plumber, Recognizing the Trades, represented by Eric Brummer, 1 at $1,000. The recipient is Jacob Matula.
BSR Aspiring Physical Therapist, 1 in the amount of $500. The recipient is Keone Leader.
Carolyn Laban Scholarship, various totaling $1,400. The recipients are Molly Close, Cameron Davis, and Abigail Melandro.
Kathy Bates Lamoro Memorial Scholarship, represented by Diane Brown and Karen Flynn, 1 in the amount of $200. The recipient is Ryan Ott.
Causeway Good Citizenship Award in memory of Ralph Marshall, represented by Skip Martin, 1 in the amount of $500. The recipient is Alexa Fritz.
The Causeway Ford Lincoln Honda Nissan Hyundai Student Athlete Award, represented by Skip Martin, 34 in the amount of $250. The recipients are Paul Adanatsian, Dean Bates, Kayla Boker, Kerrigan Bulger, Katie Calandra, Emma Camp, Patrick Campoli, Sebastian Servetto, Kayla Dean, Maitland Deman, Cami Lynn Eisenhower, Michael Faringo, Jordan Frangipani, Richard Glasscock, Benjamin Hanneman, Jake Hughes, Justin Keene, Emily Keenan, Kaylee King, Peyton Moore, Alexa Mulch, Isabella Naventieri, Priscilla Nicolini, Tara O'Neill, Sarah Pampalone, Rachel Petty, Shayna Raynone, Emily Railman, Sadie Rothstein, Veronica Ruoff, Gianna Scattarella, Cosette Terzian, Riley Vaughn, and William Wersch.
Ceremonious Strings Music Scholarship, represented by Jamie Chavin, one at $100. The recipient is Catherine Walker.
Charles E. Moffitt History Scholarship, represented by Charlene Moffitt White, 2 in the amount of $300 and 1 in the amount of $250. The recipients are Richard Glasscock, Robert Pisano, and William Wersch.
Christopher Brent Hickson Memorial Athletic Scholarship, represented by Chuck Donahue Jr., 1 at $100. The recipient is Emily Railman.
Circle of Life Scholarship, Compassion, Gratitude, and Generosity, represented by Susan Spazchek, 4 in the amount of $100. The recipients are Riley Couch, Alexandra Matner, Alexa Tabacino, and Amanda Tosi.
Class of 78 Celebration of Life, represented by Jill Suling Beloff, 1 at $1,100. The recipient is Shayna Kenduk.
The Cooper Philanthropic Fund, represented by Scott Cooper, 1 in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Tara O'Neill.
Curtain Call Scholarship, represented by Elizabeth Weidenhoff, 1 at $200. The recipient is Ethan South.
Dancing with Grace, represented by Grace Weidenhoff, 1 in the amount of $250. The recipient is Madison Rohr.
David Lee Cole Memorial Scholarship, 1 at $500. The recipient is William Rose.
David's Dream and Believe Cancer Foundation scholarships funded in part by Fusaro's Pizza, represented by David Caldarella and Steve Crisali. Various amounts. Recipients are Danielle Boslin, Kayla Boker, Justin Keene, Kyle Kivet, Michaela McGovern, Emily Rainey, Alexander Reck, Gianna Scattarella, Alexa Tabacino, and Riley Vaughn.
Delta Kappa Gamma Omicron Chapter, represented by Patty Sink, one at $500. The recipient is Samantha Zarillo.
The Democratic Club of Long Beach Island Scholarship, represented by Rita Kostopoulos, one at $500. The recipient is Molly Close.
Democratic Club of Waretown, represented by Ann Hopkins, three at $500. The recipients are Maitland Demand, Jaden Hickman, Alexa Tabacino.
Duroni's Lion and Derby Scholarship, represented by Steve Darian, two in the amount of $100. The recipients are Alexander Reck and Lindsay Sellert.
Doris Marie Dodds Memorial Surfing Scholarship, amount one at $200. The recipient is Cody Opowski.
Dr. Ralph B. Roselle Memorial Scholarship in Chemistry, represented by Susan Harkness, one in the amount of $450. The recipient is Dean Bates.
Edna Hazelton Scholarship in memory of Doris Cranmer by Stafford Township Historical Society, represented by Jason Hazelton, one at $250. The recipient is Robert Pisano.
Ensign Arthur J. Platt Jr. Foundation, represented by Mary Lou Cruson, five in the amount of $500. The recipients are Erica Barbera, Molly Close, Cameron Davis, Gregory Lee, and Abigail Melandro.
Excellence from Waretown, one at $500. This recipient is Nicole Rotunde.
Fawn Lakes Community Association Award, represented by Paul Catafo and Helen Hanlon, one in the amount of $500. The recipient is Max Steinberg.
Fawn Lakes Men's Social Club Scholarship, represented by Paul Catafo, one at $250. The recipient is Max Steinberg.
Fawn Lakes Women's Club, two in the amount of $250. The recipients are Kaylee King and Morgan McGonigal.
Forever a Ram, represented by Taylor Brennan and Madison Ernst, 12 at various amounts. The recipients are Aaron Barrett, Shayla Duca, Shayna Kenduk, Michaela McGovern, Krista Pacello, Lauren Patillo, Emily Rainey, Madison Rohr, Ethan South, Alexa Tabacino, Cosette Terzian, Stephen Zuzik.
Foster's Electric Scholarship, 8 in the amount of $250. The recipients are Aaron Barrett, Kylie Guglielmo, Megan Lockwood, Alexa Mulch, Cole Robinson, Shane Robinson, Carly Sarnosky, and Gianna Scattarella.
Francis Winfield Scholarship, represented by Marianne Winfield, 1 at $1,000. The recipient is Christina Samila.
Frank and Arlene Service Memorial Scholarship, represented by Ryan Morrell and Cindy Papiez, 2 at $300. The recipients are Robert Burns and Tara O'Neill.
Frank Massaro Stafford Scholarship, represented by Sharon Romano, 1 at $1,000. The recipient is Amanda Lang.
Frank V. Panzone Jr. Memorial Chowderfest Scholarship, 2 at $500, Veronica Ruoff and Austin Widmer.
Fraternal Order of Police LBI Lodge 5, represented by Kevin and Dawn Kohler, 5 at $1,250. The recipients are Robert Burns, Alexa Fritz, Alexa Mulch, Gianna Scattarella, and Riley Vaughn.
Friends of Barnegat Lighthouse State Park, 1 in the amount of $500. The recipient is Haley Whitney.
Friends of the Class of '87 Scholarship, represented by Susan Foster and Heather Tater, 1 at $100. The recipient is Ryan Ott.
Friends of the Island Library K. Jones Memorial Scholarship, represented by Kathy McCaffrey, 1 in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Bryce Reynolds.
Friends of Waretown Municipal Alliance, 2 at $250. The recipients are Benjamin Laparo and Alexa Tabacino.
G. Anderson Agency, 3 in the amount of $1,000. The recipients are Emily Bartolini, Molly Close, and Emily Railman.
German Program Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $200. The recipient is Zachary Milgis.
Gina Marie Hemhauser Memorial Scholarship, various amounts. The recipients are Mia Amir, Sarah Brennan, Alexa Fritz, Lauren Patillo, Gianna Scatarella, and Alexa Tabacino.
Girls Swim Team Booster Club Scholarship, various amounts. The recipients are Mia Amir, Gianna Antonora, Aaron Barrett, Braden Bischoff, Emily Keenan, Abigail Melandro, Tara O'Neill, Natalie Rodriguez, Ava Ruff, and Veronica Ruoff.
Glenn T. Bleakley Memorial Scholarship, represented by Betty Ann Bleakley and Glenn Jr. Bleakley, won in the amount of $500. The recipient is Connor Cownan.
Greenbrier Ocean Air Men's Club Grant, represented by Kent Avery, won in the amount of $1,500. The recipient is Benjamin Leparo.
Greenbrier Ocean Air Women's Club Scholarship, represented by Margie Albrecht and other members of Greenbrier Ocean Air Women's Club, 4 in the amount of $500. The recipients are Maitland DeMann, Tara O'Neill, Christina Samilla, and Alexa Tabacino.
Grow the Game Volleyball Commitment Scholarship, various amounts. The recipients are Trudy Beck, Danielle Bosland, Kayla Boker, Jack Healy, Justin Keene, Shane Robinson, Gianna Scatarella, and Riley Vaughn.
Home Alliance Realty Service Award, represented by Lisa Lopez, won in the amount of $250. The recipient is Emma Hughey.
Howard E. and Christine Schiffler Memorial Foundation, various amounts totaling $12,500. The recipients are Paul Adanatsian, Erica Barbera, Grace Marie Cartagena, Cameron Davis, Leah Kowalski, Alyssa Landon, Abigail Melandro, Lucas Michike, Aiden Alcott, Michelina Petty, Bryce Reynolds, Benjamin Ridgway, Cole Robinson, Ruben Romero, Ava Ruff, Daniel Seddon, Luke Suddeth, and Brielle Willoughby.
Humble and Kind Scholarship in loving memory of Robert A. Wolf, represented by Stephen, Heather, Matthew, and Brittany Tater, one in the amount of $250. The recipient is Dean Bates.
In memory of Mariah Elise O'Neill, class of 2003, represented by Sean O'Neill and Brian O'Neill, one in the amount of $500. The recipient is Braden Bischoff.
Instep Drive Soccer Scholarship, sponsored by Andy Camasco and the Cascone family. Two in the amount of $200. The recipients are Benjamin Hanneman and Megan Lockwood.
Irwin and Irwin CPAs, one at $1,000. Jake Hughes.
Italian American Social and Civic Association of Stafford, represented by Dr. Anthony P. Chirico, one at $1,000 per year for 4 years. The recipient is Jessica Ragusa Fiella.
Italian Cultural Society of LBI, represented by Rita Costopoulos, two at $300. Recipients are Samantha Del Rio and Alexa Tabacino.
The Jack Wall Memorial Scholarship, one at $1,000 per year for 4 years. The recipient is Alexa Tabacino.
James H. Power Memorial Scholarship, represented by the Power family, two in the amount of $500. The recipients are Julia Bernard and Isabella Naventieri.
Jeffrey and Catherine Bates Nursing Scholarship, represented by Jeff and Catherine Bates, 3 at $200. The recipients are Aaron Barrett, Tara O'Neill, and Lorena Vargas.
Jetty Bridgewalk Scholarship, two in the amount of $600. The recipients are Ava Ruff and Medina Bonu Soli Jonava.
Jetty Future Leaders Scholarship, one in the amount of $500. The recipient is Jenna Hanford.
Jewish Community Center of Long Beach Island Scholarship, represented by Jerry Riffle and Rena Levy, one in the amount of $500. The recipient is Dean Bates.
Joanne Norwillo, RN Nursing Memorial Scholarship, represented by the Norwillo family, one in the amount of $500. The recipient is Faith Wannenberg.
Joey's Pizza and Pasta Chuck Brunati Memorial Scholarship, one in the amount of $2,000. The recipient is Tanner Close.
Joey's Pizza and Pasta Richard Hearn Memorial Scholarship, one in the amount of $500. The recipient is Alexa Fritz.
John R. Entrican Memorial Scholarship, represented by the Entrican family, 4 in the amount of $1,000. The recipients are Erica Barbera, Danielle Boslin, Emily Rainey, and Derek Serino.
John Schuster Memorial Scholarship, represented by Wendy Cotter and Cheryl Schuster, 2 in the amount of $250. The recipients are Lindsay Sellert and Samantha Zerillo.
Joseph Eckley Performing Arts Scholarship in memory of Margaret Eckley and Mary Cullen, represented by James McCabe. Various amounts. Erin Barrett, Brittany Delozio, Shayna Kenduk, Alyssa Landon, Michaela McGovern, Krista Pacello, Emily Rainey, Madison Rohr, Angela Schlagenhaft, Courtney Sherman, Ethan South, Luke Suddeth, and Alexa Tabacino.
Joy Kelly Memorial Coral Seas Scholarship, represented by Jacqueline Kelly Monahan, Mary Kate Kelly, 4 in the amount of $250. The recipients are Erica Barbera, Molly Close, Cameron Davis, and Abigail Melandro.
Kazuba Family Scholarship in memory of Michael Robert Kazuba, Lieutenant Commander, U.S. Navy, retired, represented by the Kazuba family. Amount 1 at $750. The recipient is Megan Hensinger.
The Kazuba Scholarship in memory of Stanley and Eileen Kazuba, represented by the Kazuba family. 16 at $250. The recipients are Sebastian Servetto, Abigail Constantino, Jared Cornelius, Shayla Duca, Alexa Fritz, Emily Furlong, Tanner Close, Benjamin Laparo, Krista Pacello, Jeffrey Riley, Bryce Reynolds, Colby Saxton, Courtney Sherman, Alexa Tabacino, Matthew Terhune, and Noah Wazak.
Catherine Snyder Scholarship, represented by Brandon Snyder, 6 in the amount of $250. The recipients are Caitlin Bevilacqua, Kayla Curtin, Samantha Del Rio, Maitland Demand, Alexandra Matner, and Veronica Ruoff.
Kathy Snyder Music Appreciation Scholarship, represented by Taylor Rossi, Lizzie Schmall, Madison Ski, 1 in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Caitlin Bevilacqua.
Kevin Daniel DiOliveiro Memorial Scholarship, represented by Marcia DiOliveiro and Rebecca DiOliveiro Longinetti, 2 at $500. The recipients are Robert Burns and Abigail Melandro.
The Kiwanis Club of Long Beach Island Edward Torello Good Scholarship Award, represented by Skip Martin, 1 in the amount of $500. The recipient is Leah Kowalski.
The Kiwanis Club of Long Beach Island John Gamachi Good Citizenship Award, represented by Skip Martin, 1 in the amount of $500. The recipient is Bryce Reynolds.
Kiwanis Club of Long Beach Island Randy Waterfield Good Citizenship Award, represented by Skip Martin, 1 in the amount of $500. The recipient is Alyssa Landon.
The Kiwanis Club of Long Beach Island Scholarship, represented by Skip Martin, 1 at $1,000 per year for 4 years. The recipient is Kylene Stewart.
Knights for Christ the Healer Scholarship, represented by Thomas Whitcamp, 3 in the amount of $500. The recipients are Kerrigan Bulger, Kaylee King, and Anthony Ferrulli.
Kohler Family in memory of Charlie Sr., represented by Kevin and Dawn Kohler, 1 at $500. The recipient is Caitlin Bevilacqua.
Kristen Henninger Aspiring Attorney Scholarship, represented by Kristen Henninger, 1 in the amount of $500. The recipient is David Brennan.
Larson Puskas Fisheries Education Partnership John Larson Memorial Scholarship, represented by Lisa Tracy, 1 in the amount of $1,500. The recipient is Justin Liu.
Larson Puskas Fisheries Education Partnership Marine Science Scholarship, represented by Lisa Tracy, 1 in the amount of $1,500. The recipient is Kelly McManus.
Larson Puskas Fisheries Education Partnership Music Scholarship, represented by Lisa Tracy, 1 in the amount of $1,500. The recipient is Shannon McGivney.
Locomotive Award in memory of Anthony and Antoinette DeCiccio, represented by Louise Brummer, 2 in the amount of $100. The recipients are Dean Bates and Sebastian Servetto.
Long Beach Island Education Association Philanthropic Fund, represented by Julie Oldham, 2 in the amount of $500. The recipients are Paul Adanatsian and Bryce Reynolds.
Long Beach Island Fishing Club Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $250. The recipient is Aiden Ocott.
Long Beach Island PTA Scholarship, represented by Brianne Meehan and Shelley Smith, 4 in the amount of $500. The recipients are Paul Adanatsian, Lucas Michigi, Bryce Reynolds, and Ava Ruff.
Long Beach Island Rotary Club Colin Hazeltine Memorial Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Aiden Hosu.
Long Beach Island Rotary Club Community Service Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Erica Barbera.
Long Beach Island Rotary Club G. Thomas Oakley Memorial Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Sebastian Servetto.
Long Beach Island Rotary Club International Service Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Justin Liu.
Long Beach Island Rotary Club Jack Cleary Memorial Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Dean Klunk.
Long Beach Island Rotary Club James Mancini Memorial Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Haley Whitney.
Long Beach Island Rotary Club James Wilson Memorial Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Luke Suddeth.
Long Beach Island Rotary Club John Serafis Memorial Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Veronica Ruoff.
Long Beach Island Rotary Club participants in Rotary Functions Scholarship, 4 in the amount of $500. The recipients are Megan Alfredson, Cassandra Danziger, Rachel Dudanis, and Carmine Martino.
Long Beach Island Rotary Club President Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $1,500. Ryan Maloney.
Long Beach Island Rotary Club Robert S. Dunn Memorial Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Danielle Boslin.
Long Beach Island Rotary Club Service Above Self Scholarship, 15 in the amount of $500 and 12 in the amount of $250. The recipients are Dean Bates, Katie Calandra, Kylie Connor, Philip Copolino, Brandon Cullen, Hannah Farrington, Patrick Getz, Alexa Jones, Shayna Kenduk, Juliana Kleesler, Abigail Melandro, Alec Martin, Krista Pacello, Jessica Raguso Fiala, Bryce Reynolds, Sadie Rostein, Ava Ruff, Jason Sari, Lindsay Sellert, Caitlin Sorbera, Matthew Terhune, Amanda Tosi, Christian Torres, Nicholas Velarde, Rachel Wellington, Brielle Willoughby, and William Warsh.
Long Beach Island Rotary Club Service Scholarship, one in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Medina Bonu Solajanova.
Long Beach Island Rotary Club Vocational Service Scholarship, one at $1,000. The recipient is Amanda Lang.
Long Beach Township Police George C. Schnell Jr. Memorial Scholarship, represented by Chuck Schnell, 2 in the amount of $250 and 4 in the amount of $500. The recipients are Aaron Barrett, Alexa Fritz, Benjamin Ridgway, Cole Robinson, Shane Robinson, and Luke Suddeth.
Long Beach Township PBA Local 373, represented by Philip Paulina, one in the amount of $1,000. And the recipient is Emily Bartolini.
Love Ladies Property Owners Association, one in the amount of $500. The recipient is Luke Suddeth.
Lucille Michelle Bates Memorial Scholarship Fund, represented by Diane Brown and Karen Flynn, 4 in the amount of $250. The recipients are Aaron Barrett, Timothy Budd, Andrew Irwin, and Emily Railman.
Main Street Alliance Church Community Giveback Scholarship, represented by Main Street Community Connections Representative, 1 in the amount of $500. The recipient is Braden Bischoff.
Manahawkin Elks Antler Lodge No. 6 Scholarship, represented by Kathleen Barrett. Amounts are various. Recipients are Aaron Barrett, Trudy Brennan, Sophia Del Val, and Charlie Perks.
Manahawkin Elks Lodge number 2340 Scholarship, represented by Bruno Cervanca and Brianna Marshall, 4 in the amount of $700. The recipients are Aaron Barrett, Samantha Del Rio, Charlie Perks, and Alexander Reck.
Manahawkin Senior Social Club, represented by Marlene Longmore, 10 in the amount of $500. The recipients are Matthew Bunce, Joshua Hassman, Justin Keene, Caitlin Kohler, Alexandra Matner, Lisa McConaughey, Christopher Merdza, Alyssa Knitting, Courtney Sherman, and Matthew Terhune.
Manahawkin United Methodist Church Emily Eisman Memorial Scholarship, represented by Eileen Mahan and Phyllis War, 2 in the amount of $550. The recipients are Danielle Boslin and Riley Couch.
Manahawkin United Methodist Church Edward W. Jones Award, represented by Emily Mahan and Phyllis War, 1 in the amount of $550. The recipient is Krista Pacello.
The Mancini Realty Company Incorporated, 3 in the amount of $3,000. The recipients are Shane Robinson, Cole Robinson, and Brielle Willoughby.
Mary Mancuso Willette Lanzaro Memorial Nursing Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $500. The recipient is Tara O'Neill.
Mason Scholarship Sextant Lodge number 286, 3 in the amount of $1,000. The recipients are Aaron Barrett, Trod Beck, and Ryan Ott.
Matthew Caulfield Memorial Scholarship, represented by Donna Caulfield, Alexis Caulfield, and Patty Burns, 2 in the amount of $600. The recipients are Robert Burns and Carly Sarnowski.
Mayor Charles Boltner Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $750. The recipient is Alexa Mulch.
Merchant Family Scholarship, represented by Pushpa and Phyllis Merchant, 1 in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Riley Vaughn.
Michael Lorenzi Philanthropic Fund. The amounts are various. The recipients are Dean Bates, Julia Bernard, Braden Bischoff, Jared Cornelius, Emily Furlong, Tanner Close, Leah Kowalski, Zachary Minifo, Madison Oriole, Martha Paris, Emily Railman, Jeffrey Riley, Carly Sarnosky, Lindsay Sellert, Courtney Sherman, Ethan South, Alexa Tabacino, Noah Walzak, and Emily Rainey.
Michelle Marie Wright and Joseph Francis Wright Memorial Scholarship, 3 in the amount of $200. The recipients are Jonathan Hughes, Riley Couch, Jacqueline Palercio.
Michelle Marie Wright and Joseph Francis Wright Memorial Scholarship in memory of Frances Elizabeth Wright, 2 in the amount of $200. The recipients are Laura Randall and Nicole Rotondi.
Michelle Marie Wright and Joseph Francis Wright Memorial Scholarship in memory of Georgette Sear Hand. Amount 3 at $200. The recipients are Abigail Constantino, Emily Gio, and Alexa Tabacino.
MJ Fletcher Creative Writing Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $350. The recipient is Mackenzie Hawk.
Nevertheless, he/she persisted in memory of Henrietta Eagle, represented by Jennifer Abato, 1 in the amount of $200. The recipient is Sebastian Servetto.
New York City Fire Department Memorial Scholarship in memory of Fred Claudio, Mark Langone, and Steve Casani, 2 in the amount of $500. The recipients are Brenna Cousins and Jonathan Sheehan.
Noreen J. Way Memorial Scholarship, represented by George D. Way, 1 in the amount of $500. The recipient is Olivia Morawski.
Ocean Acres Civic Association of Stafford Township, represented by Lauren Scapola, 2 in the amount of $750. The recipients are Olivia Morawski and Noah Wazak.
Ocean Township PBA Local 371 John Maybank Memorial Scholarship, 3 in the amount of $500. The recipients are Nicholas Adonisio, Timothy Budd, and Nicole Rotunde.
Ocean Township Parent Teacher Association Scholarship, 4 in the amount of $500. The recipients are Anthony Ferrulli, Christopher Garrity, Nicholas Garrity, and Mackenzie Torrey.
Ocean Township Schools Staff Judy Spartus Memorial Scholarship, represented by Brent Cunningham, Lisa Dreyer, Jen Dybus, Lauren Eberens, Amy Sarancic, and Ashley Soletto, one in the amount of $700. The recipient is Alexa Tabacino.
Ocean Township School Staff Scholarship, represented by Brett Cunningham, Lisa Dreyer, Jen Dybus, Lauren Ebernez, Amy Sarancek, and Amy Soletto. One at $700 and 6 at $500. The recipients are Trevor Beecroft, Lauren Bourgeois, Maitland Demand, Richard Glasscock, Nicole Rotondi, Mackenzie Torrey, and Stephen Zuzik.
Outstanding Science Achievement Award in memory of Ensign Arthur J. Platt, Jr., represented by Mary Lou Cruson, one in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Luke Suddeth.
Pancoast Family Scholarship, represented by Tom and Judy Pancoast, 3 in the amount of $100. The recipients are Connor Durnian, Abigail Melandro, and Grace McClellan.
Parker M. Nork Memorial Scholarship, All Sports, represented by Kim Nork, one in the amount of $2,500. The recipient is Daniel Seddon.
Parker M. Nork Memorial Scholarship, Hockey, Football, and Lacrosse, represented by Kim Nork, one in the amount of $2,500. The recipient is Tara O'Neill.
Patricia Ann Ewart Memorial Scholarship, represented by Karen E. Mortensen, one in the amount of $1,500. The recipient is Sebastian Servetto.
Patrick Riley Superstorm Sandy Memorial Scholarship, represented by John Barrett and Wally Jones. The amounts are various. The recipients are Aaron Barrett, Trudy Brennan, Zachary Minifo, Krista Pacello, Charlie Perks, and Luke Suddeth.
Perry's Lake Homeowners Association, represented by Maddie Hahn, one in the amount of $500. The recipient is Alexa Mulch.
Petty Motorworks Engineering or Automotive Scholarship, represented by Tom Petty, 2 in the amount of $250. The recipients are Matthew Bunce and Anthony Cespedes.
Philip J. DePisa Memorial Scholarship, represented by Jennifer Abato and Chuck Donahue Jr., one in the amount of $200. The recipient is Cole Robinson.
Piece of the Puzzle Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Emily Rainey.
Pine Shores Art Association Scholarship Award, represented by Illume Pedicini, one in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Gianna Walter.
Planned Investments, represented by Donald and Anne-Marie Deloto, one in the amount of $200. The recipient is Benjamin Laparo.
Platt Family Scholarship in memory of Monica Platt, class of 1981, represented by Mary Lou Cruson, one in the amount of $500. The recipient is Justin Keene.
Producers Performing Arts Scholarship, represented by Mary Beth Weidenhoff, Colleen Matusek, Elizabeth Weidenhoff. The amounts are various. The recipients are Aaron Barrett, Caitlin Bevilacqua, Emily Gio, Megan Hensinger, Grace Matusek, Michaela McGovern, Krista Pacello, Lauren Randall, Madison Rohr, Ethan South, Nellie Trout, and William Wersch.
Progressive Dimensions Scholarship Initiative, represented by Lizette and Ed Cassidy, two in the amount of $500. Recipients are Caitlin Kohler and Jeffrey Leonard.
Rams Wrestling Booster Club in memory of Robin Leff Memorial Scholarship, represented by Michelle Bode, Ray Lubeski, and Joyanna Fraschilla. The amounts are various. The recipients are Colin Boero, Derek Chapman, Jared Cornelius, Benjamin Laparo, Jason Sari, Jason Scarbo, Jaden Smith, and Robert Woodcock.
Red Cardinal Scholarship in memory of Cheryl Barrett and Nicole Trapanese, represented by Louise Brummer and Tiffany Green, one at $250. The recipient is Lorenzo Tomasello.
Richard Scholarship, one in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Riley Couch.
Robert Irvin, MD Scholarship, one in the amount of $1,500. The recipient is Kylie Guglielmo.
Robert T. Ominski, Stafford, New Jersey Pride Scholarship, represented by the family of Robert T. Ominski, one in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Ryan Ott.
Shure Dunn Memorial Scholarship, represented by Ken and Judy Shure, five in the amount of $500. The recipients are Lauren Bourgeois, Gabriella Boyle, Cameron Davis, Grace McClellan, and Olivia Morowski.
Sharkey Family Scholarship, represented by Sue and Paul Sharkey, two in the amount of $250. The recipients are Paul Adanatsian and William Wersch.
Skipperettes of Skipper's Cove, Waretown, represented by Pat Pelletier, and Pat Cecilia. 2 in the amount of $500. Recipients are Benjamin Lapero and Alexa Tabacino.
SNN Scholarship Fund, the amounts are various. Abigail Constantino, Shayla Duca, Megan Hensinger, Jonathan Sheehan, and Noah Wazek.
Soch Auxiliary Jean LeBlanc Memorial Scholarship, represented by Mrs. Maddie Matzine Kubler, President. 2 in the amount of $1,000. The recipients are Aaron Barrett and Samantha Del Rio.
Sir Optimus International of Long Beach Island, represented by Carol Berteman, 1 in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Abigail Melandro.
Southern Ocean Medical Center Family Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $1,000 and 2 in the amount of $800. The recipients are Dean Bates, Kayla Boker, and Caitlin Kohler.
Southern Ocean Rotary Club Scholarship, represented by Janet Nealon and Austin Nealon, 18 in the amount of $500. The recipients are Aaron Barrett, Dean Bates, Colin Boero, Danielle Boslin, David Brennan, Robert Burns, Justin Keene, Shayna Kenduck, Caitlin Kohler, Olivia Morowski, Ryan Ott, Robert Pisano, Alexander Reck, Veronica Ruoff, Matthew Terhune, Lorena Vargas, Riley Vaughn, and Samantha Zarillo.
Southern Regional Administrator Scholarship, represented by Craig Henry, 4 in the amount of $300. The recipients are Caitlin Bevilacqua, Ryan Davis, Matthew Terhune, and Stephen Zuzik.
Southern Regional Alumni Association Scholarship, represented by Susan Foster, John Kazuba, and Heather Tater, 2 in the amount of $50. The recipients are Emily Harmon and Tanner Close.
Southern Regional Baseball Parents Association Scholarship, represented by Kenny Scitarella, Mike Serino, Jen Glasscock, Nicole Serino, Kelly Nasty, Suzanne Wilkinson, Sal Tomei, Carrie Dunn. Various amounts. Richard Glasscock, Aiden Hosu, Liam Nolan, William Rose, and Derek Serino.
Southern Regional Boys Lacrosse Team Scholarship. The amounts are various. The recipients are Colin Boero, Christian Cerulli, William Devane, Jake Hughes, Cade Johnson, Benjamin Laparo, Giovanni Soto, and Noah Wazak.
Southern Regional Boys Swimming, represented by Deirdre McInerney and Melissa Widmer. Amounts vary. The recipients are Cameron Davis, Aiden Doherty, Zachary Gergenti, Jackson Hughes, Gregory Lee, Aiden McInerney, Aiden Alcott, Alexander Reck, Matthew Verbecki, and Austin Widmer.
Southern Regional Education Association Scholarship. The amounts are various, totaling $19,000. The recipients are Megan Alfredson, Dean Bates, Julia Bernard, Braden Bischoff, Jared Cornelius, Cameron Davis, Cameron Distelkamp, William Fentz, Emily Furlong, Anissa Gallo, Jenna Hanford, Cade Johnson, Emily Keenan, Tanner Close, Leah Kowalski, Ryan Maloney, Zachary Minifo, Zulima Nieto Castaneda, Sarah Pampalone, Jacqueline Polarico, Mackenzie Potts, Shayna Raynone, Emily Rainey, Emily Railman, Alexander Reck, Jeffrey Riley, Natalie Rodriguez, Ruben Romero, Ethan South, Alexa Tabacino, Matthew Terhune, Noah Wazak, and Ohana Williams.
Southern Regional Education Foundation, various amounts. The recipients are Trevor Beecroft, Abrielle Cardy, Brenna Cousins, Cameron Davis, Joshua Hassman, Justin Liu, Abigail Melandro, Lisa Rakonaglu, Christopher Mertza, Alyssa Knitting, Michelina Petty, Rachel Petty, Jeremy Simon, Matthew Terhune, and Brielle Willoughby.
Southern Regional Girls Soccer Booster Club, represented by Linda Matner and Jeanette Lockwood, 6 in the amount of $200. The recipients are Kerrigan Bulger, Riley Chenoweth Hafner, Shayna Kenduck, Megan Lockwood, Alexandra Matner, and Lindsay Sellert.
Southern Regional High School Bagels and Beyond Service Award, represented by Brittany Cannon and Dana Cannon. Various amounts totaling $3,700. The recipients are Gabriella Boyle, Sophia Del Val, Jordan Frangipani, Jake Hughes, Justin Keene, Jonathan Sheehan, and Noah Wazak.
Southern Regional High School Boys Basketball Scholarship. The amounts are various. The recipients are Michael Del Val, William Devane, Matthew Godfrey, Jake Hughes, Sarah Pampalone, Benjamin Ridgway, Cole Robinson, Taylor Volpani, Noah Wazak, and Samantha Zarillo.
Southern Regional High School Cheerleading Scholarship. Various amounts. The recipients are Abrielle Cardi, Hannah Guile, and Shayna Raynon.
Southern Regional High School Class of 1983 Scholarship, represented by Lisa Perariascodi and Shelley Smith, 1 in the amount of $300. The recipient is Ryan Voles.
Southern Regional High School Class of 2018 Scholarship in memory of Lauren Rainey, represented by various alumni of the Class of 2018. Amounts totaling in $1,800. Recipients are Paul Adenazia, Zachary Minifo, Tyler Morehouse, Emily Rainey, Madison Rohr, Charles Rulon, Courtney Sherman, and Alexa Tabacino.
Southern Regional High School Family and Consumer Sciences Department Scholarship, 13 in the amount of $250. The recipients are Emily Bartolini, Trevor Beecroft, Grace Marie Cartagena, Shayla Duca, Sarah Fagan, Hannah Guile, Sarah Havens, Madison Lubeski, Natalie Rodriguez, Kayla Saragosa, Daniel Seddon, Kylene Stewart, and Samantha Zarillo.
Southern Regional High School Field Hockey Scholarship, represented by Jenna Lombardo. Various amounts totaling $2,000. The recipients are Erica Barbera, Caitlin Bevilacqua, Gabriella Boyle, Grace Marie Cartagena, Sophia Del Val, Maitland Demand, Priscilla Nicolini, Tara O'Neill, Emily Railman, Veronica Ruoff, and Samantha Zarillo.
Southern Regional High School Fishing Club Scholarship, 7 in the amount of $200. The recipients are Drew Camusa, Colin Charles, Nicholas Gray, Colin McCarty, Shannon McGivney, Robert Pisano, and Alexander Reck.
Southern Regional High School Golden Rams Marching Band. 1 in the amount of $1,000, 1 in the amount of $800, 1 in the amount of $600. The recipients are Jonathan Hughes, Riley Couch, and Laura Randall.
Southern Regional High School Music Department Scholarship. The amounts are various. The recipients are Aaron Barrett, Caitlin Bevilacqua, Colin Boero, Emily Gio, Jonathan Hughes, Riley Couch, Leah Kowalski, Alyssa Landon, Grace Matusek, Michaela McGovern, Krista Pacello, Robert Pisano, Emily Rainey, Bryce Reynolds, Madison Rohr, Courtney Sherman, Luke Suddeth, Alexa Tabacino, and Leah Tilson.
Southern Regional High School Orchestra sponsored by Fusera Pizza. 10 in the amount of $175. The recipients are Colin Borrero, Danielle Bosland, Carrigan Bolger, Nicholas Caruso, Jalen D'Amelio, Deanna Naya, Veronica Ruoff, Jeremy Simon, Medita Bonu Soli Jonava, Catherine Walker.
Southern Regional High School RAM Yearbook Scholarship. The amounts are various. The recipients are Mia Amir, Kerrigan Bulger, Kylie Connor, Kayla Curtin, Jalen D'Amelio, Sophia Del Val, Emily Furlong, Kylie Guglielmo, Kaylee King, Caitlin Kohler, Kaylee Lang, Abigail Melandro, Olivia Morowski, Priscilla Nicolini, Emily Railman, Carly Ruff, Carly Sarnoski, Nellie Trout, Taylor Volpani, and Samantha Zarillo.
Southern Regional High School Softball Scholarship in various amounts. The recipients are Victoria Kona, Sarah Pampalone, Charlie Perks, Brianna Robinson, Mackenzie Torre, Haley Whitney, and Cameron Wilmot.
Southern Regional High School Student Council Scholarship, one in the amount of $100. The recipient is Aaron Barrett.
Southern Regional Home and School Association, represented by Terry Durst and Lisa Mastrodriani. Amounts vary. The recipients are Gianna Antinora, Dean Bates, Trudy Beck, Colin Barrera, Emily Furlong, Aiden Jesus, and Zachary Minifel.
Southern Regional Ice Hockey Parents Association Scholarship, represented by Lisa Braun, 5 in the amount of $300. The recipients are Justin Braun, Andrew Brock, Andrew Irwin, Jeffrey Leonard, and Zachary Minifo.
Southern Regional Jazz Band Parent Scholarship, given in various amounts. The recipients are Matthew Bunce, Jonathan Hughes, Riley Kausch, Tanner Close, Shannon McGivney, and Robert Pisano.
Southern Regional Middle School Builders Club, one in the amount of $500. The recipient is Paul Adanatsian.
Southern Regional Middle School History Buffs Club, one in the amount of $250. The recipient is Alexa Tabacino.
Southern Regional Middle School National Junior Honor Society, represented by Danini Manuel and Shannon Manna, 15 in the amount of $100. The recipients are Maitland Deman, Riley Kausch, Leah Kowalski, Priscilla Nicolini, Aiden Olcott, Sarah Pampalone, Shaylin Pelucio, Emily Railman, Bryce Reynolds, Gianna Scattarella, Derek Serino, Luke Suddeth, Alexa Tabacino, Noah Walzak, and Austin Widmer.
Southern Regional Middle School Student Council Scholarship, one in the amount of $250. The recipient is Ava Ruff.
Southern Regional Middle School Student Store, one in the amount of $500. The recipient is Sadie Rothstein.
Southern Regional Middle School Yearbook Scholarship, two in the amount of $500. The recipients are Abigail Melandro and Samantha Zarillo.
Southern Regional Photographic Scholarship, represented by Melissa Ardwin, one in the amount of $250. The recipient is Christina Samilla.
Southern Regional Transportation Scholarship, represented by Luann Rozek and George Way, three in the amount of $300. The recipients are Timothy Budd, Leah Kowalski, and Matthew Terhune.
Southern Spirit Scholarship in memory of Cheryl Barrett, represented by Chuck Donahue Jr., one in the amount of $250. The recipient is Sebastian Servetto.
Southern's Class 3 Officers, represented by Christopher Fritz, Kevin Kohler, and Chuck Schnell, three in the amount of $300. The recipients are Alexa Fritz, Benjamin Hanneman, and Deanna Naya.
The Spirit of Service Scholarship, represented by Amanda Shives, won in the amount of $400. The recipient is Kylene Stewart.
Spray Beach Chapel Scholarship Fund, represented by Diane and Rob Roy, 2 in the amount of $1,000. The recipients are Paul Adnatsian and Abigail Melandro.
SSC Boys Soccer Boosters Club Scholarship, represented by Deirdre McInerney, 4 in the amount of $700. The recipients are Benjamin Hanneman, Aidan McInerney, Martin Rojas, and James Wen.
Stafford Conservative Republican Club, represented by Phyllis Merchant and Steve Jeffries, 1 in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Jessica Raguso Fiala.
The Stafford Girls Lacrosse, the amounts 2 at $250, 1 at $200, and 1 at $100. The recipients are Maitland DeMann, Juliana Floodman, Alexandra Matner, and Ava Ruff.
Stafford Girls Softball Association Scholarship, represented by Stephanie Grill, 5 in the amount of $250. The recipients are Megan Hensinger, Amanda Lang, Sarah Pampalone, Charlie Perks, and Brianna Robinson.
Stafford Stingrays Senior Scholarship, represented by Mike Sarnosky, 4 in the amount of $250. The recipients are Victoria Kona, Sarah Pampalone, Carly Sarnosky, and Mackenzie Torrey.
Stafford Township Education Association Scholarship, represented by Vicki Clapper, 7 in the amount of $727. The recipients are Ryden Atnatsian, Danielle Boslin, Trudy Brennan, Emily Gio, Jake Hughes, Kyle Kievit, and Shaylin Peluzio.
Stafford Township Elementary School Transportation, represented by Brenda Hollingshead, 2 in the amount of $200. The recipients are Isabella Naventieri and Nellie Trout.
Stafford Township EMS Catherine Cirillo Rice Medical Memorial Scholarship, represented by Chris Strunk, 1 in the amount of $2,000. The recipient is Erin Barrett.
Stafford Township Lions Club in memory of Edward Saponara, 1 in the amount of $750. The recipient is Lauren Patillo.
Stafford Township Lions Club in memory of Isabel Saponara, 1 in the amount of $750. And the recipient is Drew Camusa.
Stafford Township Lions Club in memory of Peter Casamento, 1 in the amount of $750. The recipient is Krista Pacello.
Stafford Township PPA Local 297. Various amounts totaling $16,000. The recipients are Emily Bartolini, Kayla Boker, Jared Cornelius, Maitland Demand, Jordan Frangipani, Alexa Fritz, Jake Hughes, Justin Keene, Zachary Minifo, Joseph Mrazek, Alexa Mulch, Ryan Ott, Sarah Pampalone, Joseph Parker, Jacob Reed, Caitlin Risnick, Jason Sari, Carly Sarnaski, Jason Serbo, Gianna Scatarella, Jonathan Sheehan, Sadie Turnure, Riley Vaughn, Austin Wheeler, and William Wersch.
Stafford Township Police Foundation Incorporated James M. Given Memorial Scholarship, 1 in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Trod Beck.
Stafford Township PTO Scholarship, 7 in the amount of $1,000. The recipients are Trudy Beck, Cassandra Danziger, Giant Johnny, Jeffrey Leonard, Laura Randall, Derek Serino, and William Wersch.
Stafford Township Volunteer Fire Company Number 1, represented by Ted Terzian, 1 in the amount of $500. The recipient is Cosette Terzian.
Stafford Township Women's Club Scholarship, represented by Maddie Hahn, 1 in the amount of $500. The recipient is Faith Wunenberg.
Stafford Wrestling Club James F. Sutter, Sr. Memorial Scholarship, represented by Bob Smith, 3 in the amount of $500. The recipients are Benjamin Lopero, Jason Sari, Jason Scarbo,
Stephen J. Yancey Memorial Scholarship, represented by Bailey Yancey and Devin Yancey, 1 in the amount of $300. The recipient is Colby Saxton.
Sugar Shack Scholarship, represented by Linda Larson, 1 in the amount of $225. The recipient is Ruben Romero.
The Ann Walter Schwing Memorial Scholarship, represented by Matthew Schwing, one in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Alexandra Matner.
The Beach Haven Community Arts Program Scholarship, represented by Kathy Ubelhart, won at $1,000. The recipient is Alyssa Landon.
The Beach House Restaurant Scholarship, one in the amount of $200. The recipient is Zachary Minifo.
The Best is Saved for Last Scholarship, represented by the Zuzik family, won in the amount of $50. The recipient is Stephen Zuzik.
The Brian Rooney Memorial Scholarship, represented by Susan and James Rooney, two in the amount of $500. The recipients are Kieran Lang and Jason Lassen.
The Elizabeth Otis Shear Foundation Memorial Scholarship, represented by Alan S. Gerber, Esquire, and Barbara Gerber, five in the amount of $10,000, payable $2,500 per year for 4 years. The recipients are Dean Bates, Danielle Boslin, Bryce Reynolds, Luke Suddeth, and Brielle Willoughby.
The Garden Club of Long Beach Island, one in the amount of $1,000. The recipient is Samantha Del Rio.
The Long Beach Island Historical Association Scholarship Fund, represented by Jamie Ciardelli, won at $500. The recipient is Ruben Romero.
The Mary and Tom Green Scholarship, one at $175. The recipient is Ava Ruff.
The Maximilian Foundation Scholarship, represented by Richard Schmid, two in the amount of $250. The recipients are David Brennan and Nicholas Gray.
The Medica Family Scholarship, represented by Joe Medica, one in the amount of $250. The recipient is Caitlin Risnick.
The Pat and Ed McGlynn Scholarship, one in the amount of $175. The recipient is Dean Bates.
The Rogolski Family Scholarship, represented by Dr. Matthew Rogolski, two in the amount of $250. The recipients are Connor Durnian and Noah Wazek.
The Richard J. Ackerson Senior Pride and Perseverance Memorial Scholarship, represented by members of the family, two in the amount of $250. The recipients are Sebastian Servetto and Veronica Ruoff.
The super tremendous, yet still decently stupendous, spectacular, and awesome Scholarship for the Blossoming Mind, represented by Dan Dreyer, six in the amount of $50. And the recipients are Andrew Chmielewski, Molly Close, Abigail Constantino, Cameron Davis, Gregory Lee, and Rachel Reimers. The Tilton Family Scholarship, represented by the Tilton family, 4 in the amount of $500. The recipients are Krista Picello, Benjamin Ridgway, Cole Robinson, and Alexa Tabacino.
Township of Ocean Regular Republican Organization, represented by Mrs. Kelly Zuzik, 3 in the amount of $600. The recipients are Benjamin Laparo, Tara O'Neill, and Stephen Zuzik.
The Toy Run Foundation, represented by Dennis and Christina Jaron and Lou and Sue Soreo. The amounts vary. The recipients are Jonathan Hughes, Kaylee King, and Benjamin Laparo.
Tuckerton Lumber Company Scholarship, 2 in the amount of $500. The recipients are Matthew Terhune and Haley Whitney.
The Unexpected Kindness Award, represented by Barbara Noakes, 2 in the amount of $200. The recipients are Julia Bernard and Benjamin Hanneman.
United Methodist Men of LBI, represented by Kenneth Welsh, 1 in the amount of $600. The recipient is Madison Rohr.
The Van Dyke Group Memorial Scholarship, represented by Dave and Janet Wersch, 13 at $1,000. The recipients are Emma Camp, Kendall Forley, Jordan Frangipani, Riley Kausch, Michaela McGovern, Alexa Mulch, Shaylin Peluzio, Charles Rulon, Angela Schlagenhaft, Daniel Seddon, Lindsay Sellert, Max Steinberg, and William Wersch.
Walter C. Sharp Scholarship, various amounts totaling $67,500. The recipients are Paul Adanatsian, Gianna Antonora, Erica Barbera, Dean Bates, Trevor Beecroft, Colin Boera, Danielle Bosland, Kayla Boker, David Brennan, Trudy Brennan, Kerrigan Bulger, Matthew Bunce, Robert Burns, Abrielle Carty, Nicholas Caruso, Riley Chenoweth Hafner, Kylie Connor, Jared Cornelius, Brenna Cousins, Megan Curry, Jalen D'Amelio, Maitland Demand, William Devane, Fiona Doyle, Sarah Fagan, Jordan Frangipani, Emily Furlong, Emily Gio, Nicholas Gray, Benjamin Hanneman, Joshua Haseman, Jack Healy, Giant Johnny, Riley Kausch, Justin Keene, Shayna Kenduck, Dean Clunk, Caitlin Kohler, Leah Kowalski, Jordan LaBelle, Ryan LaBelle, Amanda Lang, Jason Lassen, Keone Leader, Justin Liu, Megan Lockwood, Abigail Melandro, Alexandra Matner,
Shannon McGivney, Morgan McConigal, Michaela McGovern, Aiden McInerney, Kelly McManus, Lisa McConaglu, Peyton Moore, Joseph Mrazek, Christopher Mertza, Isabella Naventiri, Priscilla Nicolini, Alyssa Knitting, Krista Pacello, Sarah Pampalone, Martha Paris, Shaylin Peluzio, Michelina Petty, Rachel Petty, Jessica Raguso Failla, Laura Randall, Emily Railman, Bryce Reynolds, Cole Robinson, Nicole Rotunde, Ava Ruff, Charles Rulon, Jason Sari, Gianna Scitarella, Daniel Seddon, Derek Sereno, Courtney Sherman, Jeremy Simon, Medina Bonu Soli Genova, Max Steinberg, Luke Suddeth, Alexa Tabacino, Matthew Terhune, Mackenzie Torrey, Riley Vaughn, Ryan Bowles, Catherine Walker, Noah Wazak, Faith Weiser, Haley Whitney, Austin Widmer, Brielle Willoughby, Robert Woodcock, William Wersch, Samantha Zarillo, and Stephen Zuzik.
Walters Homes in memory of Edward M. Walters Sr., represented by Ed Walters, 2 in the amount of $2,000. The recipients are Kayla Dean and Sarah Pampalone.
Waretown Historical Society Scholarship, represented by Adele R. Shaw, 2 in the amount of $500. The recipients are Alexa Tabacino and Stephen Zuzik.
Waretown Volunteer Fire Company in honor of Larry Leonard, 2 in the amount of $300. The recipients are Robert Burns and Liberty Camp.
The Wazalewski Family Scholarship, 2 in the amount of $1,000. And the recipients are Trudy Beck and Anthony Ferrulli.
$989 appointments on behalf of 256 donor groups. Great job, Denise Logue and Dawn Bischoff, and congratulations to the class of 2020, who this incredibly generous community has once again fully invested in. It is now my pleasure to introduce Class of 2020 Vice President Alexa Tabacino, who will offer closing remarks on behalf of the Class of 2020. Alexa will be attending Montclair State. Alexa?
Thank you, Mr. Henry. Congratulations to my fellow members of the Class of 2020 who have received scholarships tonight. Your hard work and merit displayed at Southern Regional and within our community was deservedly noticed not only tonight, but throughout your high school careers. As we prepare to part our separate ways post-graduation, it is important to remember and appreciate the many opportunities our school district and hometown provided for us to excel and succeed. Whether you have been awarded for your academic achievements, outstanding performance on the field, court, or stage, selfless devotion to an organization, or simply for being an exemplary student, every senior should be proud to be honored and recognized tonight. Though we wish we could be gathered in the gym to celebrate our accomplishments,
We are grateful for the efforts to keep events like Scholarship Night a part of our final days as seniors. We appreciate the consistent support and encouragement through this time of uncertainty. Thank you to the scholarship donors of our community, as well as the donors of the Southern Regional staff and administration. Thank you to everyone who made this night possible, and once again, congratulations to all scholarship recipients. This concludes our 2020 Scholarship Award Ceremony.